Hey there, what's up guys, welcome to Blender Viz, and in today's video we'll be learning how to model a Tesla Model B bike in Blender. This tutorial is for absolute beginners and this will be a follow along tutorial, so not wasting our time, let's get started. So we start by deleting everything from the scene and then we'll load our reference image. I'll provide you the image link in the description. And now you can see the image is not properly aligned. So to align the image, just press Alt R and rotate it along the x-axis by 90 degrees. Rotate x and 90. And go into the front view and just make the image transparent and reduce the transparency. So for our reference, we'll be using this image. So just ignore the image which is at the bottom. So let's start modeling our bike. So we start by adding a cube, scale it, grab it along the z-axis, go into the wireframe mode and start modeling the bike. First we'll model this part, which is the seat part. So rotate along the y-axis, scale it somewhat here, yeah, and let's start modeling. So go into the edit mode, select this part, grab along the x-axis a bit, and then select this part, and grab along the x-axis. So click X twice so that it will move along its axis. So let's place it over here, then grab along the z-axis and rotate it along the y-axis. Then press E to extrude, place it here, grab along the z-axis and scale it a bit and rotate it along the y-axis. Alright, okay, so now let's add loop cuts to give it a proper shape. So one loop cut here and grab it along the z-axis somewhere here, then just one loop cut here, grab it along the z-axis. Alright, and also these two. Alright, so we are done with the top part. Now let's add a subsurf modifier and give it a level of 3. Go into the solid view and just start adding loop cuts. So go into the edit mode, loop cut, shoot it at the corner, then a loop cut here, shoot it at the corner, loop cut in the middle, shoot it to the top, and loop cut again in the middle, shoot it to the bottom. So now you can see we are done with the top part. So next we start by modeling the body. So let's start by adding a cube, scale it, grab it along the x-axis, rotate it along the y-axis, scale it again, grab along the z-axis, x-axis, scale. Alright, so now go into the edit mode, select these 2 points, grab along the z, double press z and scale it a bit. Then grab these 2 points, extrude it along the z-axis let's say somewhere here. Grab along the x-axis and scale it. Then again we extrude it along the z-axis, say somewhere here. Rotate along the y, grab along the x, and grab along the z-axis. Extrude it again, grab along the z, rotate along the y-axis, and scale it a bit. Extrude again, rotate along the y, grab along the x, rotate along the y, extrude again, grab along the x-axis, rotate along the y-axis, then extrude again, grab along the z, rotate along the y, scale it a bit, extrude again, grab along the z-axis, rotate along the y, extrude again, rotate along the y-axis, then extrude again, rotate along the y, extrude again, grab along the z-axis, and rotate along the y-axis, and then extrude it again till the end. Grab along the z, scale it a bit, and grab along the x a bit. Alright, now let's start giving the shape to this body. So we start by adding a loop cut here, grab this point, grab along the z-axis, also grab this point and match with our reference image. We add a loop cut again here, grab this along the z-axis, this too, and let's add another loop cut and grab this along the x-axis, and let's add a loop cut here as well. Grab this along the z-axis. Alright, let's add another loop cut. Select this and grab along the z-axis. Add a loop cut here as well. Grab along the z-axis, and this grab along the x-axis as well. Let's add one here. Grab along the x-axis. One more here. Grab along the z-axis. Let's add another loop cut here and match this point to our reference. We need to scale this down a bit. Alright, then add a loop cut here. Grab along the z-axis. Scale it a bit. Then a loop cut here. Grab along the z-axis. Also this point along the z. Then add another loop cut. Grab along the z. Then another loop cut, grab along the X, then align this a bit. Let's add a loop cut here, grab along the X, and a loop cut here. Alright, so I think we are done with the body. Let's add a subsurf modifier. Change the level to 3 and let's start adding loop cuts. So one loop cut here and one loop cut at the end, loop cut at the center, shoot it to the bottom, loop cut again at the center and shoot it at the top. Okay, so the body is done. Okay, now let's start making the wheels. So to make the wheels, we will start by adding a torus. Go into the top view, then change the major segments to 49 and minor to 14, and radius, change the minor radius to let's say 0.04 and major radius, decrease the major radius as well. Alright, now rotate it along the x-axis at 90 degrees. Go into the front view, grab along the x-axis, z-axis and just scale it a bit until it matches the reference. Right. Alright, so now to make this inner part, what we have to do is just go into the edit mode. Let's hide the reference image, then press 2 to go into the edge select mode and select these 3 edges. So press alt, select, shift, alt and select, shift, alt and select. And now let's go into the front view, bring a reference image. Now we have to extrude these edges along the normals. So to do that, just go into the extrude tool and select extrude along the normals. Click this yellow point and extrude it. Somewhere here. Alright. So this is how we do the inner wheel. Now again go into the box select mode. Alright. So we are done with the wheel. Now let's model these parts. So we start by adding a cylinder. Scale it a bit. Rotate it along the y-axis. And scale it again to match our reference. Alright, go into the edit mode, select the top part, grab along the z-axis. Select this part, again grab along the z-axis, double press Z. Alright, now to make this part, let's go into the face select mode by pressing 3. Then press I to inset, somewhat here. Go into the front view and then press E to extrude and S to scale. Okay, so we do the same thing here. Select this face, I to inset and E to extrude. Alright, Now select everything and press Shift D to duplicate it and just place it over here, rotate along the y-axis. Now let's model these parts. So to model this we need to add a plane, rotate it along the x-axis at 90 degree, scale it, bring it to the reference image, and start modeling. So just place it, go into the edit mode, press 1, bring this here, grab it along the z-axis, scale it, add a loop cut, scale it a bit. Alright, and then press E to extrude and add a subsurf modifier. Go into the solid mode, edit mode, and add loop cuts. Increase the level to 3. Okay, then we duplicate this plane and align it to the scene. Now also add a subdivision surface to the cylinders. Go into the edit mode, add loop cuts. Okay, so once you are done, now let's just model this part. So go into the edit, mesh, and add a plane, rotate it along the x-axis at 90 degrees, scale it, align it to the reference image, grab it, and start modeling it. So edit mode, grab this point, grab along the x, grab along the z, again x, then this point, then this one. Let's add a loop cut, scale it, loop cut here. Okay, and then just press A and extrude it. Alright, now again we add a subdivision surface, level 3, and add loop cuts. And then we duplicate this, and now let's add a cylinder to make this black portion. Rotate along the x-axis at 90 degree, scale it, grab it, and scale it. and scale it along the y-axis as well. And just shade it smooth. Alright. Also shade the tire smooth. Now let's just hide these cubes so that we could copy everything. Just select everything, bring on the reference image, Shift D, X, and place it over here, and just rotate it along the y-axis. Okay, and then let's bring the cubes. Alright, now also let's model this portion. So again we add a cube, scale it, grab it along the x-axis, go into the edit mode, select these points, then select these two, then these two over here, and let's add loop cuts so that we could give this portion a shape. Let's grab this point, move it along the z-axis, loop cut here, grab this point, move it along the z-axis, and one more loop cut, this point, and move it along the z-axis. Now again let's go and add a subdivision surface, level 3, go into the solid mode and add loop cuts. And then press A and scale it along the y-axis. Alright, so now if you go and check the reference image, or let's say this one, you can see this white part is like separated, so like it's divided into two halves. So let's just try to make this. So what we have to do is just let's just hide the image for a while, select the main body, just scale it along the y-axis and make it thin, go into the side view, grab it along the y-axis and place it over here. Then press Shift D to duplicate and along the y-axis and place it somewhere here. Now we have to do the same thing with this portion, because you can see this white part is like just attached to this black portion. So we have to do the same thing. So just scale it along the y-axis Go into the side view, grab it along the y-axis, place it here, shift D and place this portion. Okay, now let's try to model the middle portion, which is this black part. So we just duplicate one of these cubes and we just scale it along the y-axis. Somewhere here. And if we bring the reference image back, just grab it along the z-axis. Alright. And then just select this. So just select this top face, go into the front view and grab it along the x-axis. Say somewhere here. And just add a loop cut. Alright. And also add a loop cut here. And just shade it smooth. Also shade this smooth. Then also this one. Alright. So now let's just go and model our handles. So to do that, we just add a cube, scale it, grab it along the z-axis, along the x-axis, scale it along the y-axis, go into the front view and just place it, scale it again, scale it along the z-axis, scale it along the x-axis. Okay, go into the edit mode and just extrude the, just grab this face along the y-axis somewhere here, then extrude a bit, and now just try to make this curve. Just extrude it again to, let's say here, then grab these 2 points and these 2 points, grab along the x-axis. Alright, and just scale it along the z and x-axis. Scale it along the y as well. Alright, now just duplicate this along the y-axis and rotate it. And place it. Select both the handles and scale it. Alright, so we are almost done with the modeling stuff. Now let's bring the reference image, and we are just left with this seat and this rod. So let's add a cylinder, scale it, grab it along the x-axis, rotate it along the y-axis and scale it. Go into the edit mode, select the top portion, grab it along the z-axis, double press Z, Select the down portion, grab it along the z-axis. Okay, now let's just model the seat. So let's see how the seat is. Seat is also easy to model. So let's go and add a cube. Grab it, scale it. So it's something like this. Alright. So let's go into the edit mode. Go into the wireframe mode. Select these 2 points. Grab along the x-axis. Let's just add 5 loop cuts. Then grab these 2 faces. Grab it along the x-axis. Alright. Now let's just go and add a subdivision surface. Make it level 3 and add loop cuts. And shade it smooth. Just align it to the reference image. Rotate it along the y-axis and scale it along the x. Grab along the x and place it. Rotate along the y and grab along the z-axis. Alright. So we are done with the seat as well. So we are almost done with the modeling stuff. Now let's just go and add some materials to it. So let's see the reference image. So these all stuffs are white. Just shade it smooth and add a material. So new material, keep the base color as it is, increase the metallic value a bit and keep the roughness as it is. Go into the material preview and alright, let's just add this material. Let's say white. So add this to the body. Now the next color is the black one, which is this one. So select this one, add a new material and make it black. A little bit metallic. Alright. And let's name it as black. Then add it here, then here to the handles. To the seat. And also to these cylinders. And to this rod. Now let's add the material to the tires. So assign a white color to it. So add a new material, base color to white and increase the roughness. And then go into the edit mode, select these faces Go into the face select mode, select the faces, Alt by pressing Alt, then Shift Alt. Alright, so once you have selected, add a new material and make it black, and also increase the roughness because they are tires, and click on assign. Also do the same with the back tire. Okay, so we are done with the modeling part. Now let's go into the rendered view, add a plane, scale it, add the add add one area light, scale it, grab it along the z-axis, increase the power to 1000, and make the color to, let's say, bluish. Then also add a sun, grab it along the y-axis and rotate it along the x-axis. Select the plane, select these two edges, extrude along the z-axis, again select these two edges, Control B to bevel, and shade it smooth, and change the color of the plane to, let's say, light blue. Okay, so I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please do subscribe to my channel and also hit that like button, and thank you so much for watching.